Okay, so let's start the press conference with VKS, with SeeEl.
Hi, Sil. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. My question is about the last BTS. The theme mentality was really an issue, and I would like to know what BKS is working on.
Yeah, I mean, I think our... Is this on?
My, close.
Right. I think this week of training was probably the best week of training we had ever in the whole year. I think everyone was really on the right track individually, mentally, and also in the game. But you know, we just couldn't fix some of these tremendously damaging, you know, habits that make our map look very difficult. You know, yeah, we definitely had far too many egregious mistakes from 15 minutes onwards, and the point that we're at is that we need to fix these mistakes, or we're most definitely not going to win anyway. I think that we showed a pretty competitive showing, despite the early games being really disastrous for us. For example, I think first game, second game, we managed to pull back, and both were games that were really winnable, but we just made some really key errors. And so we'll be looking forward to kind of fixing that and hopefully leveling up during the playoffs.
Thank you.
Hi, Sil. Ernest, the Crise. So my question is about Sarolu specifically. As he's a rookie, we know the mental could be an issue, and I want to know how you guys are working this with him.
I mean, nothing's more powerful than time. We have a full-time psychologist on board now as well. Mateos, he used to work at Fluxo, I believe. Great guy. So we've invested more to make sure the guys are looked after. Before, Z would work with us. Z from, I think he's at Botafogo now. He would work with us part-time basis, but now we have a guy. And also, I mean, he's been through our academy system for 2 years. He has 2 titles, 3 finals, and 3 splits he's been here. And so, you know, I think mentality-wise, it's not a problem. It's more so stage nerves. It's more so handling pressure. It's more so being ambidextrous and flexible in the moment. And these are things that will come with experience, time, and good coaching. You know, we have a pretty momentous task ahead of us. And there were just so many mistakes that were made in this year, and that's 100% my responsibility. But I do believe that we do really have a shot, and you know, today's series was a lot closer than people anticipated. So I'm looking forward to facing them again.
Thank you.
Hi, SeeEl, Matheus from Vivo Keyd Stars. My question is about what's happening today and what you are feeling about the series.
Yeah, I think overall we were very passive, for sure. We didn't show what we showed in the training this week. You know, confidence is going to come with the results in the training, but also the way that we practice. You know, there were just some key errors that were made overall in all 3 lanes today, and jungle as well. And so, you know, they just ran us over. That's the truth. We're going to need to really work on our ability to play the map if we want a real fighting chance in this championship. But you know, I believe that if there's anyone that can do it, if there's any team that can do it, it's us. You know, we have been a team historically that has leveled up during playoffs over the last 2.5 years, and so yeah, just hoping to fix the problem in time. I believe we can.
Now let's start with the questions on scores. Law, you can make your question now, please.
Hey Chris, Cos from My Sports here. How you were saying, we know the split isn't over yet, but my question is, I would like to know if Wizer delivered or is delivering what you expected when you invested in him. I would like to hear what you have about to say his split.
You know, Wizer's here because I believe in him. But he's most definitely not delivering what he what I anticipated in lane and out of lane. And you know, what we have to do now is just to make sure that he can get there, and how we can support him, and how we can really build a good system so that he can be a bit more consistent and understand the map better. I think he understands his shortcomings. I think the whole team does right now, and so we're going to put a special program in place in the next couple of weeks so that we can fix this predicament.
Bruce?
Hey Sil, how are you?
What's up, baby?
My question is kind of similar of the Corres. Is about the Kaiwing.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Kaiwing performing well yet on Keyd.
Yeah.
So why do you think it happened to him? I mean to Keyd, so he cannot perform it good.
I mean, it's a difficult question. I think there's a lot of things, really. I think that
If you don't want to answer that,
no. I'm just thinking. It's a very complicated question. Actually, it's much more complicated than. I mean, I would say that there were definitely games. I'm not sure if that's entirely true. You see, I think there are definitely games where he showcased his level. But of course, the expectations on him were so high coming into the region. With the name that he is, you know, I think he's a 7-time champion in the LCP. He made top 4 in MSI multiple times. He was top 8 in Worlds just last year. You know, top 4 in first stand as well. You know, incredibly strong player, and he was actually like the primary shot caller in CFO. So it's understandable. I just think that he himself most definitely makes mistakes mechanically and on the map that makes us question his ability. And so that's going to be his responsibility moving forward. I do think that the weight on his shoulders have been pretty heavy going into this week. He's been exemplary in all our training sessions, but he's also trying to fix our side laning at the moment. You know, he's sitting mid lane and like controlling jungle and controlling like side lane because we keep making mistakes, and so part of my job is going to be how can we reduce this total cognitive load so that he can focus on his own play as well, you know, and we're not really providing the right environment to do that, and that's where, you know, my decisions come in, and that's where, you know, Keyd I just got off a message with Hugo actually, most definitely should hold me accountable because we've made a pretty sizable investment in this roster, and so let's just see how things go in the next couple of weeks, and let's just see how we perform in the rest of the playoffs.
Thank you, bro. Love you.
You have a question from Sultana, Chip Sports Brazil. I'm going to read that. I think we can say today that Keyd's more experienced players were sorely missed, since, in my opinion, Sarolu was the standout performer in the series. How we can address this so that a rookie isn't so overburdened with responsibility while the more experienced players are underperforming?
With all due respect, I do think that that's a little bit of what's the word that I'm looking for? I know the word in Korean. I think that kind of opinion is an opinion that comes from what the community wants to hear, what generates kind of outrage. But objectively speaking, if you had to ask my technical ability, like if you had to ask the technical side of me, who is actually playing the best in the team, I think it's Miru and Seo by far, and then I think it's Kaiwing, and then I think it was Sarolu today, and then Wizer. And so I'm not sure I fully agree with that. I'm not sure if it's because he's Brazilian. I don't know if it's because he feels like that he's in the right spot, making some cool plays. But you know, his gameplay most definitely needs a lot of improvement. I do think that Young Jay gave a solid outperformance in the jungle today, and that's okay. That's okay. That's once again like my responsibility as well. I think what is true though is I do think that the ability that our veterans have shown is definitely not where it should be. So it makes Sarolu's life harder than it should be. I think that's fair. That's fair. To say that he's the best performing member, I think it's quite ludicrous. I think he was making too many mistakes on the map. But I do think that, for example, Wizer today performed really quite poorly. I think Kaiwing made some mistakes in some critical moments. I think that we were slow to objectives and we didn't help like set up, or we didn't give the confidence to play. I think we A-rammed far too many times. That's a valid criticism, and that's something that should come to me. That criticism, that's my responsibility and my mistake, and the players too, of course. And so, yeah, I think that's it from me.